everyone, this is Lisa from TRW, and in this video I'm going to be taking one of our TRW flower vector designs and we are going to be pressing onto the bill of this auto cap. One thing I like about this is it has that flat bill, so we can create a cool custom hat that's great for spring, summer, or really, since I'm in Florida, any time of the year. And I'm also going to be doing this cosmetic bag with the same colors and the same design. It's a cool way to show you two different things you can do with the same design. So I'm here in Silhouette Studio. I grabbed TRW Flower 33. It's a vector design, and you can see that there are two groups in here. I want this top bundle, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right click and ungroup it. And really quickly, I'm going to take all of this, delete it, and so now I have my flowers here. So right here, this is my original, and these are my 3 cuts, and you can see that the flower is taken out through all of these, so we're all good. Now for my own sake, to make sure I'm cutting the correct colors, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to change this over to a pink because I'm going to cut this in rose gold. I'm going to change this one over to a purple because I'm going to cut this one out in purple. And then I'm going to change this one to my mint green because, as you can guess, it's going to be mint green. So I have my 3 colors right there. I'm going to go ahead and set up my design to cut. Now, one thing to keep in mind is this was set up for a decal, so these flowers are facing the same way. Depending on how you're doing it, I'm doing it with HTV. I'm going to take all of these, right click, and I'm going to flip horizontally so that they're mirrored. So now all I need to do is I need to set up my cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and group my colors together with the box. So I'm just highlighting it and doing Control G, and I need to change my cut area. So I'm going to set up my cut area to be 12 inches wide, and then just to be safe, I'm going to do 12 inches tall. Now, because I'm using some scrap vinyl, I'm going to go ahead and program this to be with a Cameo cutting mat. Now, one thing to keep in mind with your Cameo 3 is that there is no load media or load mat option. So when you designate if you're doing a cutting mat or not, it tells your machine how far to bring in your vinyl to cut it. So if you have it with straight vinyl, no cutting mat, it doesn't need to go in very far before it cuts. With the cutting mat, there's about 1 inch of space that needs to clear. So you want to make sure you have it set to whatever you need. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my cuts. I'm going to be doing my rose gold, purple, then mint green. So I'm going to go over to my sun panel, and we're going to choose my custom preset that I've already put in for glitter. Now I'm going to link below how to program your own custom cut setting in Silhouette Studio. So I'm going to go ahead, load all my vinyl, and then we are going to weed and press. All right, so here are my 3 colors. I went ahead and cut them. So now let's go ahead and weed out our designs. Now this is why we do our test cuts and check our cut settings, because you can see I'm peeling this up no problem. So the cool thing about glitter vinyl is if you do test your cut settings and make sure they're okay, you can typically just go ahead and weed it without even having to worry about having a weeding tool, because it should go pretty easily. So you can see one pull right there, and I'm just going to bend a little bit, and that is my inside section. So that's my first one. And I like to take my scissors, cut right here, cut well within these borders. And then for this little section right here, I always like to go ahead and pull this off, because I'm sure at some point in time, if you haven't, you will cut too close and get a little sliver whenever you press. So to avoid it, I like to just go ahead and rip it off. So here is my purple. I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. Now sometimes the inside sections won't come off cleanly. You know, my vinyl will almost break in a sense. That's totally okay. We're just going to go ahead, grab my vinyl here, set up like that, grab this. We're just getting these middle parts out. So again, you can use a weeding tool if you like. The cool thing about glitter vinyl is you can literally just like bend it, and you can find the cut lines pretty easily. So cutting well within, going like that. So there is my second flower. So we have 1, 2, and now we're going to do our rose gold one. So here's my cut. You can see I was just feeling around. Sometimes it's hard to see the cut lines. I just literally feel around my vinyl to see where my cut lines are if I can't actually see them. Most of the time you can kind of see them if you hold it at the right angle. And if you still can't see it, there are several different tricks you can do. Some people like to put a little bit of baby powder. I like to do a little bit of chalk, but either way, you just have to be careful because you don't want to get a whole bunch of, baby powder or chalk on your garment. Let's go ahead, keep doing it right here. And so here is my final piece. So this is actually the back piece. This is going to be the largest piece. So I'm just going to move this to the side. So just so we can see how it lays out, here's our first piece here. Our second piece is going to be purple, so I'm just going to go ahead and kind of throw that in here. This may take a little bit of experimenting because I don't exactly remember which way it goes. So this is part of why we do this. So we can see our smaller one goes in here. I'm going to set it like that. And then this one goes literally right in there, so we just have to find the right combination for that. So I think it's like that. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to bring this to my heat press, I'm going to check my picture before I go, and then we will be ready to press. Oh, just as a status update, I looked at my picture and I stacked it just like this. So this is how it will be on the hat. So now I'm going to go to my heat press and we're going to press this onto the hat, and now you're also going to see how I line it up on that. Alright, so I have my design cut out. You may notice that there are two sets of flowers because, just so you know, I got so excited that I didn't measure my flowers to see if they would fit into this bill. So we're going to do two projects here. So hello, you can see my dog is coming in here, just ignore her. But we're going to put flowers on the bill here. Now, the cool thing is because I cut two, I have a guide to figure out how to place the rest of my vinyl. So when you see something like this, this is a perfect example of the usefulness of heat tape because you can see that this carrier sheet is coming up a little bit. So I'm going to hold this down a little bit and I'm going to cut a piece of the TRW Magic heat tape. Now don't use Scotch tape, okay? This is made for the heat press. It's made for this purpose. So we're going to use this to tape down our design so it doesn't go anywhere. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to tape it right here, and I'm going to kind of bring it down a little bit too so it doesn't move. All right, so now you can see my design is taped on here. Again, this is Siser glitter in rose gold. So I'm going to go ahead, bring the brim of my hat on the press. Now the cool thing about these auto caps is that they're flat bill. So we're going to go right here. My press is set at 315 degrees. I'm going to bring this down just for a couple seconds. I basically just want to activate my HTV so it sticks, but I don't want to do the full dwell time on here. So don't forget, your vinyl works by proper pressure, temperature, and dwell time. So I'm going to very slowly lift this up to make sure my vinyl has stuck. I have a little bit that's not sticking as well up here, which is to be expected. So I'm going to go ahead, bring this over, make sure that whole part is under the press, and bring this down. So if you continue to have this issue, just make sure you're bringing your pressure up a little bit more. So you can see, perfect. So we have that set over there. So now my next color is the purple. I'm going to use this as a guide over here. So if you don't have, if you did plan better and you measured, you won't need to look at the other vinyl you already cut, but you can always print out a picture or have your screen near you when you're doing your pressing and your lining for something like this. So I'm going to use this same piece of magic heat tape. You can see that sometimes it curls, so you just want to be careful with that. So I'm going to bring this over, drop this down. Now, looking at this, guys, if you were to do this on the same royal, I would change this to like a lavender or a lighter purple. I don't super love the color on there, but hey, it still looks pretty nice in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead, bring this down, and again, a couple seconds. Sorry about my dog walking through here. So we're going to go ahead, gently lift this up to make sure we have our vinyl down. All right, so that's our second color. We're going to go ahead, peel this off of there. And I'm going to stick this on the table just to get it going. And now we're going to go over, bring this last part down here. So we will have a slight overlap on here, but not a big deal. because this hat's not going to be really washed often, we have a little bit more leeway with that as well. So let's go right here, pick up our tape off the end of the table, tape this down, and I'm still going to do a couple seconds on this just so I can get this to stick and get the carrier off. So we'll do a couple seconds, bring this up. Now you probably want to use a cover sheet with this. I went ahead and did it without a cover sheet, but it's always a good practice to do that. So we want everything to get the proper dwell time, so I'm going to go ahead, bring this down for about 10 seconds. Alright, so now I have my hat all set. So super cute. So let's go ahead and do this cosmetic bag while we're at it. So I'm going to drop this over to the side here, kind of swap positions. So this is a cute little cosmetic bag. If you've been following us for a while, you know that I love these. It is from Craft Chameleon. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of line this up a little bit further over here. Now, don't think you can shortcut and press all of this at the same time, because this vinyl is touching the carrier of both of these. So because the vinyl is touching the carrier, that's where it will stay, okay? So this is why we're doing our separate presses. I'm not making it unnecessarily tough, at least not in this area. Not measuring is what I made it unnecessarily tough in. So I'm gonna go ahead, repeat the same process. So a couple seconds. Because that's the thing that I like about Siser HTV, is that it will stay after a couple seconds. It's not cured though. So if you were to wash this, it would come right up, okay? So don't think like, oh, hey, Lisa was able to do that super quickly. I'm just gonna do that for everything. Like, nope, don't do that. No, 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 no. So we're gonna go right here. We're gonna drop this on over here. So I'm checking my other hat over here to make sure I have my alignment correct. So we're gonna go right here. Bring it just like this. Just gonna turn it a little bit so it fits better. Perfect. So let's go ahead, bring this down. Again, just a couple seconds. Lift it up. And now let's go ahead and do our last one. So I'm just checking this over here. So there is my last press. Couple seconds. And if you saw my heat press lift off a little bit, that means my pressure's up pretty high. You can either hold it down like that, or if this is something that really bothers you, you can find a way to mount your heat press down. I don't recommend decreasing your pressure though so you can lift it. That kind of defeats the purpose of why we're doing that. All right, so here is my bag. All right, everyone, so here it is. Here is our cute little auto cap, and then also our bonus cosmetic bag because I did not plan things out. So if you like this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Make sure you comment below, let us know what you think. Let me know if you often forget to measure when you cut your designs, and let me know what other videos you'd like to see. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos.